Hey there, this is Devin, and I wanted to share something that has been very useful for me this year as I've been working on a huge WooCommerce site with hundreds of thousands of orders, and that's using command line scripts to either update orders and products or export data. It's just immensely useful. And so I'm going to just go over a real simple example, which is how to use a script to export some data from a product or from a group of products. But obviously you could do this, the script can run any WooCommerce commands or WordPress commands, so it just gives you a ton of flexibility. And so I have some example scripts in here. Like, these are all scripts that we've used at some point on our site. And so this is a script that exports some product images. Here's one that exports some product sizes. This one fixes some stock status. But I'm just going to walk you through how to create one of these scripts and run it on the command line. And so you'll want to have WP CLI installed. Most of the hosts, managed hosts, have these. They have a list here, like Bluehost, WP Engine. They all sponsor WP CLI, and so you'll likely find support if you host with them. And to check if you have it installed, you can just do WP. Yeah, it shows you that's the help. There's a great shell. So if you need to just run some PHP commands in the shell, you can do that. I often do that when I'm troubleshooting things. So, if I want to get a product, I can do product equals WC get product. I can find like a product I know is on the site, and it outputs all the data for the product, and then you can run some just WooCommerce methods on it and get that information. So that, along with these scripts that you can run to just run an arbitrary file, is super useful. So let's go ahead and create one, and I'll kind of walk you through how to set these up. So I'll just call this one export product data. And I'm just going to be kind of copying some stuff from the other scripts here. So I'm going to change this code comment to export product data. And I always like to put in the command to run this script. So WP eval file and then the file name. So export product data. And we can test to see if this is going to run. Let's just do this is like some terminal output that you could do. So I'm going to do a success message and just say that this ran. And then we can run this script on the command line. Pop over here. Oh, gotta get to the right directory. So we'll run that in here. Oh, critical error. So what did we do wrong? I spelled this wrong. Let's try it again. And if you have logging on, that would have gone into the logs and you could have debugged what happened. But okay, so we ran that thing and it gave us our output, which is this ran. So let's take it a step further. What we're going to do is we're going to query some products and then save some product data into a spreadsheet, which, if you're trying to export some data, is super useful. I mean, there are a lot of plugins that allow you to do that. But again, this is just kind of an example that can get you into scripting. So I'm going to pull this out. It's just a get post here. And, I'm going to get a post type of product. I'm just going to get all of them, and I'm only going to get the IDs field. And then what we'll do is we'll loop through this here. So for each product is product ID. And then let's go ahead and log that again. So again, I'm going to just kind of copy. So with WP CLI, you can do a log message or a success message or a warning message, and that'll just kind of change the color output that is done on the terminal. So let's go ahead and log the product ID here we're doing, and when we do this, we'll just get a list of those on the command line. All right, so these are all the product IDs on the site. So next step, we're going to want to get the product object here so that we can use the WooCommerce methods to get specific data from these. And let's just get we could get the title, which is actually, so that the product title, and I forget, I often have to hop into the docs to even check simple things like this, but that's why I love having the shell. So we can do, I'm going to go ahead and get this product and just test some things here. So, okay. All right, so that gives us the whole product object here, and I can, let's see if we get the title. It works like this, get title. Okay, that works. So I'll do get that right, and we could log it to see if it works, but we're pretty sure this is going to work, right? And then let's get the price, and that's what we'll write out into a document. So double check that works. Okay. And let's say I only want to do this for products that are in stock. So I think that's get stock status. Okay. So I'll say if stock status equals out of stock, we'll just continue in the script and we won't do anything with that. And then we'll, let's just save this data into an array for now. Leave that at the top, and this first item in the array will have the title, and the second will have the price. And let's just double check that we haven't screwed anything up and this still works. Okay, so it's not, we didn't have any output here, but I'm not seeing an error either, so that's good. It ended. So let's output this into a CSV file. And the way to write that, these are just PHP functions here to write to a file. I'll just put that in another method down below. It's our log data function, and I'll just call the CSV export data. With these scripts, you can take inputs, so you could ask for how to write out that file name and do things like that, but I'm not going to cover that here. So what we can do now is just log this data that we have, and that should write out to a CSV file. So let's do it again. It is nice to log this so that the script is running. So let me grab this again, and we can say processing our product ID. Okay, but we'll look in here and we'll see, okay, yeah, this did export all this data for us. And you know, one thing we don't have is like the headers at the top to show us what the things are. So we could do data equals and set those headers. We know we're going to write out the title. We know we're going to write out the price. And we can just log that data as well, like any other data. Or we could call these headers. It's probably a better description of what we're doing. And let's delete the CSV, or delete the data in it and run it again. It logs everything and then it writes it out. And so obviously this isn't that useful of an example, right? It's pretty basic, but you see the power that you have in here. Like, instead of just getting the title, maybe you want to update all your titles, append something, or maybe you want to change the tax code on a bunch of products and kind of do some dynamic logic in here before you set the tax code. Maybe you want to get all the images, or something that's a little more difficult to do in a regular export. So there's just a ton of power in running WP CLI commands, and I hope you find it useful. All right, thanks.